What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in to another episode of Florida Talk. Got my boy Indio back here.
Okay.
Already, we're going to get right into it. Hit that like and subscribe, that notification bell, and tap in the comments. I'm going to let you go ahead and run with this, man. Talk to the people, man.
All right. First and foremost, I'm going to give a shout out to the web world. You already know, Indio Malone. And I'm going to tell you, yes, I am. I'm that trinitario, Caco Negro, that first generation who sat down at that table and made us what we are. You dig? I want to give a first and foremost, I want to address that individual. His name is Mario Sade. You did an interview with him. I want to give him, you know what? I want to tell him first and foremost, I appreciate him giving us the props that we deserve, because we definitely earned that. Like he said, we did that ourselves, dolo, against everybody. You dig? But he's saying it from his point of view. You dig? He's an outsider, so he really don't know the ins and outs of how this was, you heard? And how this really began, you heard? He's talking about the 2000s, my brother. I'm talking about the early 90s. I'm talking about 92 and 93 when this really started, you heard? All right, let me tell you something. Our history is our history. Trinitarios come from our land. Trinitarios formed, first and foremost, behind the oppression of the Haitians who had us oppressed, and we had to fight them for our independence, in which we did. And being that we was a small group, we formed what they call a trinitario, which means three brothers, you heard? And every brother had to pick and get three more, you heard? And swear their loyalty to that. And that's how it started in the land. When it came to prison, it started in Attica behind the war that happened in Wyoming. That's how that happened, bro. We sat down in Attica when the big bro, God bless his soul, came to Attica at Big Caballo and sat down, and we said, listen, we have to do this. All this that we're going to war as a Dominican group is over. All this that dudes were Dominicans being DP, or they were DGP, or whatever they was at that first generation, we could not accept that any longer. You dig? So as I was saying, we sat down in Attica and made the rules and basically took off from there. Our first army came behind what was called Dominican Power. There was a crew called Dominican Power who were halfway decent in size. Our first soldiers, our major soldiers, when we had numbers, is when they came over and said, let's go. You heard? That's how that started. In 1993, in Attica, after the war in Wyoming, we had to put in work, and the brother, I'm not going to say his name, the brother caught a body. He caught a body in Wyoming behind the beach that we had against everybody. Everybody hated us. Period. Period. You dig? That's how that was. So there was always risk. Let's put aside this gang stuff. There was always risk and problems between the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. Always. Always. That bad blood from back in the 70s and 60s. We just couldn't get along for some reason. Now, it's a different story. Back then, absolutely not. The brother said that the Dominicans that were kings, that were netas, could not move up in rank because they were Dominican. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because they hated Dominicans. So that first generation was the only generation that we allowed anybody from any other brotherhood or gang to come and join us. Because I'll be damned if you come to me after you swore your oath to somebody else, you swore your loyalty to another brotherhood, you swore your life to another brotherhood, and you're gonna come to me, sit down and take an oath and tell me that you love me, that you're loyal to me? Absolutely not. That picture does not fit. You dig? Now, like I said, our first generation in 1993, 1994, 1995 were the only time that we allowed them, Dominicans, that had other loyalties or had other priorities to come over because they were Dominican. After that, dead. You couldn't come over. Absolutely not. You were Dominican, you don't want to, you could come hang with us. But as far as taking an oath, absolutely not. You dig?
Yes.
So that's how that went. You dig? Now, as far as the problems they had in Sunset Park and individual things, that's street beef. That's street beef. Trinitarios didn't start in the street. We started in the Dominican Republic, and then we started in prison. You dig? And the major reason we got together was because we was tired of being oppressed. You dig? You
who was oppressing you guys?
Dude, everybody hated us. You heard him. You heard everybody. Everybody hate Dominicans. Period. Be it God body, be it Muslim, be it king, be it neta, they hated us in the beginning. We went to war with everybody. Everybody to put our flag down in the beginning. Absolutely. And like that dude said, we did that. We did that. You heard? We did that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
That first generation, which I am a part of, you heard? I sat at the table, you heard? You dig? With the big bros, you dig? And we made it, and we made our rules, and we made our oaths, and we made more or less the philosophy and what we're gonna do from now on, from that day forward. You understand what I'm saying? Now then, I want to address this thing that the kings and the netas understand that in the late 90s to the 2000s, no, you were not ringing bells in prison. Absolutely not. You dig? Absolutely not. You dig? And you know what's ironic about this? Is that when they had problems behind that wall, we stood there and we battled in some of their wars against the Bloods, against the Crips, against whoever it was. You dig? Because they were Latinos, they were Spanish, you heard? But they didn't appreciate that, homie. They didn't appreciate that. So we started saying, fuck that, you heard? Fuck that, you heard? We will no longer show them any type of respect or love in that manner, you heard? You heard? Because the hatred and the jealousy was still there. You could see it. You understand what I'm saying? So now then, as far as our wars, we win a war. We in war right now behind the wall. We in war right now behind that wall. Real war. You heard? There's certain spots that we can't even step into. You dig? You understand what I'm saying? Because there's none of us there. You heard? They can't let us in. You heard? They're afraid to let us in because they know. You dig? Understand what I'm saying? If there's 50 of us and there's 100 of y'all and we go to war in anywhere, let's say Clinton, we go to war in Clinton, you dig? And all 50 of us leave, of course you're going to have the advantage and now you're going to be in jail because you're all still there. We all did what we're supposed to do. We put in work and went to the fucking box. You heard? That's the only reason You in that prison right now, running shit, you heard? Because we all left, you heard? And now you're afraid to let us in. You understand what I'm saying? And that is a fact. Because they know we're not playing, homie. It's not a game, you heard? It's not a game, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We definitely instilled, our first generation definitely instilled that warrior mentality, that beast mentality into our bros, you heard? That's why Jerry brought you to me, you heard? Because I definitely instilled that warrior mentality into my bros, you heard? Don't trust anyone at any time, you heard?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You stay vigilant at all times, and you distrust everybody at all times. You dig? Why?
Yes,
because experience is the best teacher, bro. That's the only way you truly become wise to anything. You must experience it. You dig? Nobody can tell you it. You can't read it in a book. You can't see it on TV and say you wise to it. Nah. Anything in life, you must experience it to become wise to it. You understand what I'm saying? In my first generation, yeah, we did that. We experienced the true war, you heard? Bouncing from jail to jail, bouncing from box to box, because we went to war everywhere we went. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yes, there came a time when we was at peace in behind that wall with whatever gang at that point, you heard? But the bad blood was there already, you understand? So let's say we have a truce, cool. We have a truce at whatever spot we talking about. We have a truce, okay, everything's dandy. But that feeling, that distrust simmers at all times. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a man, you see what I'm saying? Not talking about a gang member, not talking about a brotherhood member. A man always respects the next man. You heard? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why? Because if anything ever happened that dude disrespected you or disrespected me, there is no coming back. Because I gave you your merit. I gave you the respect you deserve as a man. Not as a blood, not as a crib, not as a king, not as a neta, not as a trinitario. I gave you that respect as a man. So when you cross that line, I'm taking you out. Period. You understand what I'm saying? So as far as this in the 2000s and thing, Rikers was watered down by then. Rikers was Rikers in the 90s. When there was no red tags, when there was no mag, when we was running the halls freely. You understand what I'm saying? When we was running in all those jails with passes, paper passes, that we would gas the COs to give us so we could leave that block, leave those cell blocks. You understand what I'm saying? And we was carrying swords, my nigga. Swords, man. As I told you before, that's what I taught mine. And anybody that could ever tell you anything, that's what we do. All that scratching shit is a rap. I'll get scratched 1,000 times to pop your fucking lung. I'll get scratched 1,000 times to put you in a shit bag. I'll get scratched 1,000 times to make sure you're in a wheelchair, dog. You heard? And that's what I taught mine. You heard? Every time I had the moment, every time my first generation, for facts, had a moment to stand there and put a knife in one of my bros and teach him the hard way how to use it, best believe that's what we did. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, as far as this menial beasts and these little beasts, of course. Why? Because let me tell you something. Power corrupts. Understand that. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Meaning a weak man with power is going to start bullshit because he has no sense of self. You understand? So a lot of these gangs went and had made into 1,000 different sets that at times they were at war with themselves because they gave individuals power who did not deserve it. You understand what I'm saying? With power, you must have earned it. You must be a soldier first before you could be a general, before you could be a captain, before you could become a lieutenant. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's
sir.
how that goes. That's how that goes. You don't make anybody a general. You don't make anybody a fucking lieutenant because he's your man, or because he gets the bag and brings drugs into the jail, or because he's had money. You understand? No. You're a soldier first. Prove to me, but better yet, prove to yourself that you're a warrior. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Because once you start elevating in ranks, you appreciate it a little better. You understand it. You already went through it. You experienced what it is to stand at the scratch line. You experienced what it is to go at war with 100 dudes in the yard and there's only 20 of you. But everybody of yours, of mine, stood firm and went out. And went out. You did?
Yes, sir.
That's how men become men. You gotta go through the fire. And that's why we still strong, homie. Because we don't bless niggas because just who they think they are. Negative. Negative. You earn it. You earn it. You understand? Of course. Once the feds started breaking us up and putting us in jail and breaking things, communications broke. So now you have different opinions in different jails, but never different sets. Never. Trinitario. One. No 50 million sets. No, oh no. Yeah, I'm Trinitario, but I belong to this set. Or I'm Trinitario, but I belong to that set. Because that's disloyalty. So you're telling me, because I rep this set and you rep that set, even though we rep that Dominican flag, you're gonna go with them, but not with me? Negative. That's why we refused and we never allowed that to happen, you heard? Or I never allowed that to happen, you heard? It was one thing, that's it. One set of rules, that's it. One oath, that's it. You run by that, and you always gonna be righteous. You always gonna be right in the eyes of the trinitarios, you heard? You always gonna be right in that brotherhood, you heard? Now, as far as listen, like I said, I'm first generation everything. I was there everything. I was there when Blacko, when Mac, when everybody did that in 95. I was there in 93. I was there like I told you. You understand what I'm saying? Then I went up to Attica. Niggas I'm not lying, niggas can tell you. I know first generation everybody. At one time, I put in so much work on that island, motherfuckers swore. They swore I was blood. Why? Because I was respected by them, boy. I'm talking about when Dizzy was Dizzy. You understand what I'm saying? Feel me? When Animal Jeff was down there, you heard? Ballers. Ain't no bullshit players. You know what I'm saying? When Powerful was moving up in the ranks and putting in vicious work. When Lacey was first starting, You feel what I'm saying? First generation generals, and they're leaders now, militant niggas. You heard? Right now. I was there. I was there. Understand that. You understand? Now, unfortunately, once these sets started coming and this nation started breaking up into things got difficult for them. So I had to fall back in the sense that I could not give you the type of respect that I gave you before, for the simple fact that you just ran off to somewhere else. Now you're at war with yourselves. Now, I'm going to address what that brother Sade said as far as the king and the netas. It's unfortunate because the netas had a lot of power at one time, late 80s, early 90s. But they got dubbed. They got dubbed. They got dubbed. And he should have said that. The island, Puerto Rico, sent word and said, that's a wrap. No one gave anyone any type of motherfucking permission to start anything over there. You dig? So they got dubbed. Not only that, they got dubbed behind the wall. You dig? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that you was saying you was near that, that's a lie. You heard? Straight lie. You heard? It was unfortunate, but true. You understand? They got dubbed. They got zeroed out. You heard? And the moment that the kings did what they did, it was over for them. You understand what I'm saying? The moment they started telling, it was over. It was on the news. It was big thing. Not once, not twice, but 3 big federal indictments, big ones, because they were telling. They put, and let me tell you something. When the kings came to be in that medium, yeah, in the medium it was. When blood was blood, most of them were Cuban, bro. The first general and their leader were Cuban, dog. Blood, King Blood was Cuban, homie. And their first soldiers were Cuban, homie. Yes, Puerto Ricans came and then Dominicans came and because they started building their name up. But the netas were there already. But they started fading, like I said. But once you started telling and put blood behind that wall and started telling on King, on the Queen and this and that, my nigga, I was there. I was there. That's why I can say what I'm saying, and everything I say is 100%. You see what I'm saying? Unfortunately, man, they had the right idea, dog. And let me tell you something. Chicago, LA, absolutely did not sanction kings in New York. Absolutely not. You dig? But I give it to them. I give to them, to that first generation, because they stood firm. You understand what I'm saying? They stood firm. But like I told you, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. You understand? A lot of mistakes were made. And then a lot of people couldn't hold their water. And then it happened just once. It didn't happen it happened 3 times. I mean, major. In the city, there was a church in which there was rapping. And their main dog was a rat. On paper, in the news, told on everybody. So if your general has an army and your general's telling, damn, it's over. It's over. You dig? Now, the trinitarios, started having issues in the late 2000s, mid 2000s, because the feds started coming in. You understand what I'm saying? There were people doing things that they was not supposed to do because that's not what we stood for. And again, you know what? I was about to say something, but nah, if we had 1 or 2 rats amongst 100, it was a lot. It was a lot. The feds had to put in work in order to indict the ones they indicted, you heard? But yeah, some broke and told, absolutely, because they cannot hold their water. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, you can't give your man any type of position just because he's your man. You did? Or because he's putting money in your pocket. And when I tell you money, I'm talking about money, my nigga, you heard? We Dominican, you heard? You understand what I'm saying? Money. You feel me?
Yeah.
Money. And everybody who's listening, know that. When I'm talking, I'm talking about me, my generation. I'm talking about the hundreds that ran with me. You dig? When Washington Heights was Washington Heights, when the whole world came to the Heights, when you had kids 10 years old coming home with $500, $600, 10 years old because all they did was bump into people and made money with it. That's how the Heights was in the 80s and early 90s. You did? Money.
Yes, sir.
That's how that was. That's how we was able to really stay stable. You did?
Yes, sir.
Now then, I wanted to say, right? As far as this red tag thing that these people talk about, you know what I'm saying? Once you put in that first time, maybe they put you in red tag. Maybe. We're talking about repetitive shooters. Understand what I'm saying? Those were the ones that got put into gloves and had red tags, like me. Huh? Understand what I'm saying? Huh? And yet we still found ways to get out those cuffs and that glove. Yeah? You know why? Because we had to, homie. We had to. Imagine putting us on a bus, right? 1 or 2 true red tag in cuffs, muffs, chains, gloves on, and you got dudes that known enemies on that bus with you, knowing they want to get to you. You had to get out of that, B. You had to learn how to get out of that. You heard? You heard?
Yeah.
So all that kiddie play shit, I'm not talking about them kiddie play shit. I'm not talking about that little kid shit that niggas talking about right now. Nah, man. I'm talking about when you had to put in work to get your first lesson, and y'all that listening, you know what I'm talking about. You had to put in work to get your first lesson. So you wasn't even a bro yet. You had to put that in. You had to prove who you was and what you about, huh? And then I'm gonna tell you something else too. Anybody could be a beast when you got 100 niggas with you. Feel me? Anybody be a beast. Stand tall when there's 20 against 100, 150. Show me. When you're by yourself in the motherfucking bullpens and there's 50 wolves. Stand tall. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's how I grew up in this. That's how I grew up in this. And that's how the things guys were. We did that in the beginning, you heard? And that's why it is what it is still today. You understand what I'm saying? Feel me?
Yeah.
Because they could turn around and say, damn, you see what they did? You see what the bro did for? That's how it is, you heard? No watered down shit, homie. 90% of our shit were major shit. So when a new brother come in, you understand what I'm saying? He could come in and be proud, you heard?
Yeah.
And understand what he's standing for. Understand? That what we saying things that runs in your blood. It runs in your veins because it comes from your land. It comes from the moment of oppression that we had to fight in order to win our independence. Understand? So we didn't make this up. This ain't no make-up shit. Nah. We shed blood from the very beginning. The 1600s, I'm talking about, dog. I'm talking about when we were the first slaves. Huh? Oh, y'all forget that. First slaves, Hispaniola, Dominican Republic. You did? First black man from Africa stepped on our land in chains, you dog? And then centuries later, they came to what we call America. Learn your history, fellas. So that warrior shit runs in our blood, homie. Runs in my blood, boy. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we stood for, and that's what we stand for, homie. And yet you never hear us oppressing anyone. You dig? Why? Because we went through that. You experienced that. We can wise to that. And that's not the way to live. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Because the moment I stand at that scratch line, I want to be righteous. You know why I want to be righteous? Because I know I'm going to win because I'm right. I'm true. You know what I'm saying? And if I lose, it's because there's too many of y'all. You heard? Which the majority of the time, that's how it is. You heard? You did?
Yes, sir.
But I did that. Mine did that. We did that. Understand?
Yes,
I want you
sir.
to understand something. Do the history, read. There's dirt on them. There's dirt on their shit, homie. On their tallest, on their biggest. There's dirt. There's no dirt on our biggest. We'll kill that nigga. You heard? He has to go back to the main bed. You have to go back home. You understand what I'm saying? So when our first came, we understood what we were standing for. We understood what we was fighting for. And we understood that if you fall and you flake, you're done for. Because if we don't catch you behind the wall, we're going to catch you in the motherland. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't hear that our biggest for rats and all that shit that's paperwork on us? Fuck you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
now
sir.
do the homework. Do your homework. All of them. There's not one guy that their biggest thing got paperwork on. And yet you have some of the truest motherfuckers still rapping. I could tell you some fucking soldiers, first generation blood, that were monsters, that deserved it. Deserved the respect and the love. And they can't get it now because these kids just don't understand that. Deserving. I'm talking dudes that put in work against cops, COs. I seen it on the island 9-5 when BN did that. I was there. I was there. Monsters who still talk. And yet you want to talk shit about that nigga now because you young and you have money and you want a set, or they gave you a set, or you a general now. You forgot what he did for you. Fuck that other nigga that talk. Fuck that other nigga. Fuck them niggas, you heard? But give respect to those that deserve it, though. see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And that's how I taught mine. And that's how I taught mine, you heard? Feel me?
Yes, sir. Hey, that's a good ending for this part right here, man. Got my boy Indio Malone. I told him I'm letting him ride out with it. I'm not gonna say
right. I appreciate that.
This was a great video, man. I learned
Absolutely,
a lot,
bro.
I learned a whole lot. Man,
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate you, bro. You already know you, my boy. We talk on the phone. We communicate all the time.
Absolutely, man.
You already
Absolutely.
know. Easy win. Florida prison talk. Enough was said.
All right, baby. You know, I got respect enough for you. Yo, listen, I'm going to have that YouTube channel soon. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to mess people's heads up because I'm not that type of dude, homie. You got to have a different type of hustle. You're supposed to have another part of you. Every individual should have levels to them.
That's right.
And my YouTube channel, what's the name of it? Easy?
It's called Can I Borrow a Pen? May I
borrow your pen?
Yes.
They see like, what? Indio? What that mean? May I borrow your pen? Think about that.
That's right. All right, man.
All right. I love you, Easy.
I love you too, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.